everyone, Tracy here. I thought today I'd share with you an art journal page that I had created. A few of my friends and I, we all enjoy art journaling, and we come up with challenges for each other. And this challenge Sharon came up with, and the challenge was to use the word love, which I used here, and also she wanted to use strips. Now a lot of the ladies use strips of paper, or you can use strips of like paint, but I used my strips in the form of stamps. So there's a whole bunch of strips of stamps. I've overlaid them here. Now this page, I was inspired by another page I saw in Pinterest, and I just love how it turned out. But theirs is more of paper on canvas, so theirs was more dimensional, whereas in here you had to keep it a little bit more flat. So I will post if I can find the link, because I tried to find the link and then it took me somewhere else. So if I can find the link, I'll share it with you. But here is theirs, and I just love that heart that just like popped up me, so that's what I wanted to do. But what they did was they have a key here, they have a lock here, they have rhinestones, they have flowers. So theirs is more dimensional, and in art journal page you can't do that. So this is my version of it, and what I did, I'll walk you through it. I have a process video, so if you want to watch that, fine, but let me just quickly walk you through it if you don't want to watch the process video. So I inked the whole page because this is the color it actually is, this creamy white color. So I inked it all, and then I also stamped the background with this text stamp. So I did that, and then I inked all the way around the edges in three different inks. And then I just kept stamping. I had so much fun just stamping. I had a mess afterwards and had to put away a lot of stamps, but I had fun with all the stamping I did. This is a little bit of washi tape here, so here's a strip of washi tape. Here's another strip of washi tape, so I guess I used strips in two separate ways. And then I cut this heart out. This is just white cardstock, and I cut this out on my Cricut. And then what I did was I did some stamping. Well, I colored up, I spritzed it up, and then I did some background stamps, and then I did some other stamping here. And this says, listen to your heart. And then I inked around there. Well, inked around the heart, and then inked around also the background paper. See there? Inked around there. Don't mind the nails. I need to I need to redo them. And inked around there, so it would pop out a little bit more, give it some more dimension even though it's flat. And then here I ripped the page because they had some ripped pages, and I really liked how the color popped all over the place. So this here, I ripped the page and just added the colored, because I spritzed that, so I just added the color behind on this page here. And then the same here as well. And there's my page, and honestly, I love how it turned out. I had fun with this one. And I also have another heart because I did one heart and I didn't like as much how it turned out. And of course I can't find it right now. I was going to show it to you. It still turned out. I just liked how this one turned out more, and it has a little bit of sparkle on there too with the spritzes. So I can use the other heart in another journal or in my writing journal. It won't go to waste. But anyway, there is my page, or there are my pages. It's a 2-page spread. Like I said, I have a process video to follow, but if you don't want to watch that, I still want to thank you for watching this far, and I hope you all have a very creative day. Stay tuned for the process. Hi everyone, I thought I'd share with you the process. I wasn't going to, but I'm like, nah, I'll do the process video for this. So what I started with was obviously blank pages, and what I did was I inked this with the Distress ink old paper, and then I stamped it with this text stamp with also the old paper Distress ink. And this is how it turned out. I really love how the background turned out. I really like that. Now what I'm trying to do is recreate an art journal page I saw online, and I'll share it with you. I just love this one. Like, how beautiful is that, right? So I'm trying to find a good color for the heart. And first I'm trying to find the perfect way to do a heart. Well, I thought, well, maybe I'll just use one of these chipboard albums. I have a couple different kinds here. They're too big for my art journal page. So I traced them and photocopied them, and then I'm like, oh, you silly, I have a Cricut. Why don't I cut them? So here I cut this one, and then there's another one. This one I wasn't going to use. I was going to use this other one. Here it is. I was going to use that one. Now I want to get the right color of red. And I'm very particular with my reds. I love the color red, but I do not like an orangey red. So I was playing with the different colors. This one here is one of my favorite distress inks besides the dark browns, and this is the mahogany, but it wasn't as intense as I wanted to. Then I found this spray. This is a Heidi Swapp spray. In the bottle, it's more intense. Here it looks more pink. And then this one is definitely my favorite Glimmer Mist, and because I hardly have anything left. And this is Wild Currant. And this one I like a little bit more. So what I'm going to try and do with this, we'll see how it works. I'm going to spritz it up, and then I am going to try and dip the ink into this and try to sponge it. We'll see how it goes because I want the outer part to be darker than the inner part. And then for stamping, I want to stamp on it. I'll probably try to use this because I like how the two colors worked well together here. It was very subtle, and I was thinking, oh, well, if I did that with the mahogany, if I inked up this whole heart with the mahogany, stamped on it, it would turn out like this. But because the mahogany ink isn't the exact color I want a deeper, richer one, I'm going to try the mists and we'll see how that works. It's just a piece of paper. If it doesn't work out, well, no biggie, right? Well, I'm going to mist this in my misting box, which is just a cardboard shipping box, and I'm going to do it off camera because I make a mess. So we'll see how this looks. So what I did was I spritzed it, and I really like this color of the spritz. I wonder if they still make this because I don't think they do, but I love this color. So anyway, so I spritzed it, and I didn't like cover it. I wanted it to have little bits coming through. And then I took the same script stamp that I used on this background, and I used walnut stain to stamp it. And I like just the subtle little bit. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but I actually did a little bit of inking around the edges with this. I tried to like dip that to ink that, but you know what, it had a feeling because it's liquid, it just sucked it right up. The sponge sucked up the actual paint or the spritz. So I'm just going to go around and intensify the color. Like, look at how pretty that is with the inking on there. I love to ink. It just makes things pop so much more. So I'm going to just keep going around, inking this all up, going a little bit deeper in there. And then they had some more stamping on there. So I'm going to do some more like intense stamping. And I still have to figure out which stamps I'm going to use for the background. So I'm just going to keep going around and inking all the edges here, making them nice and prominent. And then I'll pick out some of my stamps and see what will go with that. So I grabbed a lot of stamps, and it's funny that most of these are Tim Holtz, one of my favorite. I just love a lot of his stuff. So I have a lot of his stamps here. And I'm just going to play around with stamping them on the bottom part of the heart. Here's the heart again, and I did do the inking around it, and I really liked how it turned out. So I'm going to try and do some stamping on the heart, and then I'm going to ink around the edges of the book. And I noticed that theirs was a canvas, so they had I think they had paper on canvas is what it looked like, and they had some rips and tears and that. So I'm going to do that too, but I'm going to ink around the edges here. But first I'm going to focus on the heart, and because this is kind of like the focus of the thing, and I'm going to do some stamping in that. And this challenge, what am I supposed to use on this challenge? Supposed to use heart? No, love and strips. So that's why not strips. Stripes? No, it was strips. And I'm just going to use my stamps as strips. And I might add some washi tape on there for some strips of washi tape too. So that's the challenge. So I'm going to just keep playing around with this heart, and I'll come back when I'm finished with this. So it's a big mess. So here's the first heart I did. And I wasn't sure I stamped that, and it didn't turn out too good. So then I had to go over it with a marker a little bit. So I thought, you know what? I usually don't do this. I usually don't make something again. I usually just work with it. But I wasn't sure. I didn't like that there was like 3 here, like that stood out. So I did another one. So here's the second one. And why this didn't work out right was I just stamped it freehand. Then of course it didn't stamp perfectly. So then I re-stamped it. But I didn't use my, whatever this thing is called, platform. I don't even know. I didn't use this. So I'm going to use this to stamp this one, and hopefully it'll work out a lot better. So let's see, we're on clear. This is clear. So far so good. And oh, here it is. I was like, where is my stamps? Because I lose everything. So here we go. we'll see. And I have to tell you, one of my new favorite colors is this Ground Espresso. I like this for inking around the edges. That's what I did around these edges. It's funny because what I used for a lot of this stamping, like all of these stampings, is I wanted something subtle, but I wanted it to pop out, but I didn't want to use like a black or a dark brown, the espresso or anything. So what I used, believe it or not, was this Seedless Preserves. That is the Seedless Preserves, and I like how you could see it, but it's not like bam in your face like the black is, or like this one is here. So I'm going to stamp this in archival ink though, the saying here. So let me see. Listen to your heart. That should go here. I hope you could see it better, but if not, not a big deal. Try to position it where I want it. Where should it go? Well, you know what? This is going to take me 10 minutes, so I will position this and then I'll come back. So here is the new heart. I think I do like it better. I think so. We'll see. But also this stamp, that's how it looks, because I used the stamp press and I stamped it 3 times. I don't know if it's a stamp press. Like tonic, what is it called? I don't even know. Why don't they have a name on it? What is it called? I don't know. It's by Tim Holtz, whatever this thing is. Anyway, I used it 3 times on this one, and it's still, that's just the way it is with all the flourishes around it. With all the scroll work around it, that's how it looks. So, there's the first one. There's the second one. I think I like the second one better. So that goes there. And then they did a whole bunch of stamping around it and all this fun stuff. Get inky. So I'm just going to keep playing with my stamps. And they used black. But I think I'm going to use the espresso. I really like the espresso. So we'll play with the espresso. See, oh yeah, but I'm going to have to glue this. Yeah. So I'm going to play around with the espresso, and if it's not dark enough, then I'll just add some black onto it. And then they did some rips, and then they had this color in between the rips. So I'm going to do that too, because I really like the pop of color in there in the background. So I'm going to continue on, and I'll show you bit by bit, because it takes me so long to decide to do something, and I don't think you want to sit there and watch that. And I've been told by a couple, well, actually one lady in particular, that I should, like, I think she told me to stop talking or to shut up. For God's sake, shut up, I think she said. I don't know. But anyway, that's not me. Go to the next channel. But I'm just going to ink around these edges, and then I'm going to do some stamping. But I'll come back periodically and show you what I've been doing. Thought I'd share with you the buildup of color. So the first layer I did was Walnut Stain, and that's going to be my lightest edge, so I went a little bit deeper with that. Then the next one I'm going to do Ground Espresso, and then at the very, very, very edge I'll do the Black Soot. But I'm just going to share with you each step to see how it gets deeper and deeper. So this is what I do, is with my lightest color, I'll take it in deeper or further into the page, and then my next darkest color, I don't go as far, and then the next darkest color I just do at the edges. But as you can see, I didn't go that far down. I just went, I don't know, ½ inch in, maybe, I guess. So that's the first layer of buildup. And sometimes I go back and forth too. If I think, say my next darkest color is here, and I'm like, oh, I like the second darkest color a little bit deeper into the page, then I'll go again with my lightest color and bring that deeper down as well into the page. Hope that makes sense. So here you can see the 2 layers. So this is the background, and then you have the whatever color I used, the Walnut Stain, and then you have the espresso, and then I'll do the black at the end. But also what I do too, where is it? Here it is. Is this the espresso? Yeah. So another thing I do on the edges too to make them really stand out, and I would do this with my darkest color, is I will take this and I'll take the actual pad of ink and go, now look at the difference in using the full pad as opposed to using a sponge. See how it just like pops it out even more? So yeah, I'm going to use the black, and I'm going to do very, very light on the black, like just the very edges, I'm thinking. So I'll do that. I hope the camera can pick this up. So I never did this with the black, but I did this with the black, and I hope you can tell the difference. See, I just used just a little bit on the very tip here. Nothing here, just on the tip here. See how the difference is? So I'm going to go around with the rest, and then I'm going to end up playing more with ink because I love to ink. As long as I know it takes a long time to ink, but it really does just make your projects pop when you do add the ink to it. So I'll go around and do the rest, and then I'll be back when it's time to do some stamping. Okay, I think I'm done with the inking, but I can always add more if I want. Now, what they have here is they had a whole bunch of different stamps here and some in the corner. So I picked out some stamps that I liked, and I just placed them here, and I'm going to start stamping. But another thing I can't forget is we were supposed to use the word love. I don't know why I thought it was heart. My mind kind of went and I thought it was heart. So I have to make the word love prominent. So I think I'll put the word love here, and then I'll do stamps kind of like around it. Or maybe I will do stamping first and then put the love last. Maybe I'll do that. Just have to remember that I have to put it somewhere where it's prominent. So keep that over here, and I'm just going to start randomly stamping things all over the place. So this here, I really like this. I'm going to put this over on this side up here. And they did some corner things too. Where did I find maybe this? I'll do some corner things too. So I need some more stamp thingamajiggies. Need some more blocks here because I hate changing things. I'm going to use archival ink because archival ink is a really nice deep dark ink. But even if things aren't stamped properly, it's not a big deal because there's going to be so many different stamps all over the place. So let's start with this corner one. Like I said, if it doesn't stamp, like look, that didn't stamp properly, there's some spots missing, just leave it because we're going to be stamping all the way up the page and everything else. So just going to keep playing, I hope I don't ruin it. So here, see, I'm just going to like stamp that. That didn't stamp perfectly because this is a bumpy page on the other side. Then I'm going to stamp over here, and let's hope it doesn't turn out ugly. So I'm just going to do a lot of stamping off camera, and then I'll come back once I'm to the next stage I'm supposed to do. Okay, I think I'm finished with all my stamping, all my strips of stamping, and I am going to put that there, and I really like how that looks. Now, they did some tearing, and then they put this color behind it, so I'm just going to spritz some white paper, because this is all this was white paper. I'm just going to spritz some white paper to be able to put it behind there. You know what I'm not looking forward to? I'm not looking forward to putting all these stamps away later. Okay, I still have to add the heart, but let me share with you, I used this here because I needed a flat background to do some stamping. So anyway, let's get on with this. So anyway, I added the ripped pages. So what I did was I just ripped the pages and I kind of folded them over, and of course I had to re-ink them. And then I cut off, because I just sprayed a piece this big, which was more than I needed, and I cut off or ripped off little pieces and put it behind. So that's the colored paper there that pokes through, and the same here. I just ripped it and folded it through. The glue is still a little bit damp there. And then there's the back side. And I've been leaving some pages empty because when I spritzed a few times it went through when you spritz really, really heavy. So I'll either attach these together, or I could even, like if I do a decoupage kind of thing on there, you're not even going to notice that. So I'm not too worried about that. I really like how that looks. All I have to do is really add this on, and I think I'm done. I like that they put a key and they put a lock and they have a lot of dimension on theirs, but theirs was a canvas, whereas mine is in a book. So you can't have it too bulky. And even these pieces here, I rolled them up, but I know over time they're going to flatten. These rolled pieces are going to be flattened down, but I'm fine with that. I like the overall look. Now I'm just going to adhere that heart down, and I'll show you it when it's totally done. I forgot, I was thinking about doing this last night, and I just remembered. What I want to do is I want to make some shading around here, and I'm going to use Distress ink, but what I'm going to do is I am just going to go underneath around the heart, and I use this tiny, tiny, tiny little finger dauber. So let's see, this is probably going to go about here. So, you know what I could do? Because this is mirror image, so we'll do this. I'll put this where I want it, kind of want it around here. Does that look straight? And I'll just do this. And then when I flip it over, we'll have a little bit of a inking around it. That might be a little bit too more than I wanted, but I didn't want it as clean and crisp. I wanted it so it had some inking. And you know what? It's funny because this is what happens to me. I'll lay in bed and I'll think of something, and then I'll totally forget about it in the morning. So I'm kind of happy that I remembered it, and I hope it turns out how I want it to turn out. So then we put this on. Yes, that's what I wanted. I like how it looks. So I'm just going to make sure there's no patches of yellow. I can do the inside now. But I wanted it to like form around the heart. That's why I put the heart there. It's because I didn't want to go like all over. I wanted it to be in an actual heart shape. So that is why I did that. So I'm going to do this. Then adhere my heart down, and then I think I'm good to go. So here I am, totally completed my page. I love how it turned out. Let me show you my inspiration piece, which was, I think it was paper on canvas. So there's my inspiration piece, and here is mine. Obviously not the same, not supposed to be the same, but I really love how this turned out. I am so happy with this. So thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you all have a very creative day today. Bye now.